All right, what's up? Happy Sunday. Today's September the 8th. It's about 2:10 p.m. A little bit later, but definitely wanted to get a recap bias video out. I've been kind of playing around with some crypto over the weekend. I'll probably post a I'll probably put up a video for that later today, and I got a call at 5. So I'll try to be quick this week, kind of like we were last week. So just kind of going back, quick recap. Um, Last week was a little, we were off. All right. So completely off. I told you guys that I was looking for bullish price action long. And as you well know, we didn't get that. We actually closed lower. So let me get some of that off. So yeah, so we actually opened. I might have to put that back. Whole bunch of crapola on here. Let's see. Let me see if I could just get rid of, because none of those like matter at this point. The fib projections. Okay, so let's start with. Just want to draw some quick stuff out so we can just discern what's what. Let's first make that black and thicken that up a little bit. Okay, so weekly down to the 4, and then this is just basically just to kind of go back and say, hey, what were we looking for? Blah 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 blah. Right. So if you can disregard some of the additional distractions here just for a second. All right, so we basically opened here, right? I'll zoom in so you can see that a little bit better because eyesight's still pretty good, but this is I'm beginning to find out the more I do this, the more OCD I actually have when it comes to like where where the horizontal ray and everything is. All right, so as you can see, this would have been last week's open, right? So at that point, you could have quickly said, okay, a 4 hour high would have been here, right? And subsequently, we could have been looking at 4 hour low. Well, in hindsight, just looking at this, that argument wouldn't have been like totally in the dust in the dark, right? Because we did actually get the delivery sell side. So we did get this taken. But like I said, I'm not gonna switch my recap and bias up for a week that didn't play out the way that I said. I was looking for bullish price action. I stand by that. We were wrong. I was wrong. Um, the market decided it didn't want to take buy side last week, so it didn't. So theoretically, and all technicals say that this 4 hour buy side's still intact. Again, sell side was run out last week, extremely run out last week. So we took that most recent 4 hour sell side, took another low, and we basically traded all the way back down into this area right. Yeah. So I'm just gonna draw out a quick, just a fair value GIP in here to show we actually tapped into this area. So just to expand this just a little bit further, um, can we still see more downside this week? It's possible. Um, and then based on where price is right now, 4 hour wise, the short answer to that is yes. Okay. The reason that I wanted to draw this out was just to kind of draw your attention to say where there is a level of fair value that is here. So subsequently, I mean, you see where we stopped on the last 4 hour. The price opens lower, clears this. We could see additional downside. There is another area of fair value just below this. Um, but this would take a little bit of study, which I could actually go in and do. I don't want to make this video too long. I think last week and maybe the week before, I've been getting these down into a more reasonable, palatable amount of time spent on the chart. So again, just not without knowing, uh, essentially like how price opens and whatnot. I would you could anticipate it's reasonable to anticipate that there is more downside. Okay. Um, one of the factors that might play into that reasoning and that logic is just to look back, and we're gonna do just this will be kind of like a one and done look back, and then we're just going to leave it at that. Okay. So if you look over here, just look to your left, and I'm going to draw, and this way it'll be a little bit more clear on the left side. So we'll use this ray, we'll make this black as well, and then I'm going to make this really thick at 4 so you can clearly see. So this would have been recognized as a low, right? We'll make this a high here. Okay. And then this basically became the subsequent low here. Okay. So if you take just look at these three rays, like we were in this high to this low, we had this break below. Okay. So this would have been the structure break at that point. I'm going to take this off. So at this point, we're in this range. So this is why I say, is it possible to continue lower? Yeah, it is possible, because if this is considered basically your high or your buy side, this is going to be sell side, and this was the break below. Price didn't just trade back up into this range; it cleared it. It took this level of buy side liquidity up here where I have Asia session annotated, and this is basically the breakdown into that 4 hour buy side that I thought that we were going to be able to run up and look for longs. However, we didn't do that. So in this instance, just looking at the 4 hour for the week to come, um, am I expecting it? Don't know. Like I said, we don't really know what the dynamic is. However, from a technical standpoint and just looking at it from a technical price action delivery perspective, I look for liquidity from buy side and sell side all the time. Like that's the primary motive in terms of my plan and my trading strategy. So if I see sell side taken somewhere, I'm not immediately saying the buy side is going to be taken, but it's more probabilistic just based on what the delivery of price is once it takes one side of liquidity. Like, what's it doing? Is it breaking down? So obviously, this move back up, this is broken structure, obviously, with the run lower. So is it possible that we get a intermediate bounce from here long, just to clear some intermediary structure to continue short? Yeah, I think that's more probable looking at this. So my bias this week, I'm kind of sort of like at the point where I could say you could kind of sit on your hands for the first day or two, so like Monday, Tuesday, just to kind of see. I have not, sue me. I haven't I haven't looked at the economic calendar, so I'm not sure what we have this week. But again, just looking at it from a technical standpoint, yeah. Could we get a bounce from this area? Yes. Could it travel lower, and could we get a bounce into this other area fair value below this? I'd have to go to the daily just to kind of understand, because the daily, this might be one large fair value gap, and our mean threshold might be somewhere in here. So the long and the short is, if we're just utilizing, let me go ahead and just put this up here for you. I might as well annotate it this way since we're already looking at it. This has been cleared, so I'm not gonna put that there, but I will put it here, because essentially that's what that's become. It's become a 4 hour buy side level. This can actually come off because that's been run already. So basically, we have two targets long for buy side liquidity. And I would say, at least at this point, yeah, we have this 4 hour sell side that's resting down here because of the range that I just showed you here on a 4 hour. So again, if you're looking for a little bit more of an intermediary play, not something that long term, because it looks like that may take a little bit of time to play out. If you're looking for something on a shorter term, we don't really have a low unless you're looking here for this week. Okay. So if we were just going to remain some level of consistent, this week would be your sell side liquidity low. So this would be a low that you could look at to see how price reacts if we get a move back, if we trade back into this area. And with that being the short term expectation, this here would be your short term high for our expectation. Um, Again, not financial advice. Uh, I am not a financial advisor. Don't sue me. Yeah, all of that. It's educational only. So again, just looking at how price is just kind of running from this area, I don't really know, as I said, what the expectation is. My expectation, just looking at the overall delivery of structure and price, um, we may tap into this and then run back long. I always like to point out certain structural moves when it comes to how structure sets up. So in my mind, what I see here is a low, I see a high, and then I see a lower low here. We do see the break back above this level. I'm just kind of scanning back. I'm not expecting you to be able to see, but you could still see structural ranges, how price is being broken down, intermediary structure and price. So just looking at this overall, and I know it looks very small, and I want you to kind of not get used to seeing stuff like this. We're seeing price in this fashion, but when you can look at it like this, I want you to just to begin to think of something. And I'm going to give you this little small nugget, and then I'm going to get the hell out of here and let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. A lot of times, if you look at price like this, I want you to look at it and think that you're looking at fractalized price, because in actuality, that is exactly what you're looking at. We're on a 4 hour time frame, okay, 4 hours, but this is still fractalized price from a much higher perspective. I'm not going to blow your mind, and we're not going to go all the way down to the 5 minute, but I just want you to get an idea and a concept of what's the higher time frame delivery for how price is being driven and where it's mitigating, what it's taken out, what areas are still remaining as intermediary or long-term protected highs or lows. So if you're looking at the delivery of price, just like I said, just eyeballing. Forget the liquidity side on this point. Just all you're doing is looking at the levels and look at how price is being delivered. The gap that was up here that we came in and we didn't completely fill, and why, if you think about it, why we might have broken price all the way back down to this level just for a significant price void. Well, not significant, but at the point in time in which this occurred, it would have been significant. So you have to think about these types of things. And why did we stop here? Well, we held on. So there's still a structural narrative long. So 4 hour, you can break this into segments, but you're still what in this low to what this high from a fractal perspective, not necessarily just a 4 hour, but from fractal perspective. So just something to bear in mind as you look at price. Again, really quickly, we'll just say I know that there are multiple levels up here. So again, if you're just looking at this week and you're looking at the weekly from this week, this would be the closest or the nearest sell side liquidity level on the 4 hour time frame. If you're looking at from a top down perspective, so from a weekly to a 4 hour, 4 hours to 15, if that's the perspective that you're looking at, from a weekly to a 4 hour, this would be your sell side liquidity low. That's the easiest identifiable 4 hour sell side liquidity level. I'll say it that way. And if you're looking for a 4 hour buy side, that is again the most discernible, clearest 4 hour buy side liquidity. So if you're looking more short term or interterm, those would be your levels. If you're looking for something that's probably going to be a little bit longer term, then you're looking at the existing range that we're in, which is this 4 hour sell side down here, this 4 hour buy side up here. So that is it for this week. Hope everybody stays safe. Happy trading. Hopefully you have a profitable week, and I'll see you guys again next week. Take care.